All right, let's dive into something called the Mujaahid Mode. This is a system, a framework, really, for anyone who's just tired of wasting time, tired of feeling like you're falling short, and you really want to achieve at a high level, not just in your worldly goals, but in your faith too. So let me just ask you straight up, does this sound familiar? You know, the endless scrolling, the random videos that lead to more videos, and then you get to the end of the day and you have that sinking feeling that you haven't really done anything that matters? It's such a frustrating cycle, right? And it's a cycle we absolutely have to break. And this is exactly why it's so important. Just let this quote sink in for a second. It completely reframes the whole problem, doesn't it? You're not just losing time. You are losing a piece of yourself, a piece that you will never, ever get back. Now, that's a heavy thought, and honestly, it should be. Okay, so if that's the problem, what on earth is the solution? Well, that brings us right to the core of what we're talking about today. What exactly is this Mujaahid Mode? Here we go. At its heart, Mujaahid Mode is all about training your mind with the discipline of a soldier. It's a system built to help you lock in on what's most important, your faith, your prayers, while at the same time giving you the intense focus you need to absolutely crush your goals, whether that's in your business, your fitness, or your personal life. It's really about building a legacy you can be proud of. So how do we actually do this? Look, the foundation isn't some fancy app or a complicated schedule. The real change has to start deep inside. You have to shift your identity first. See, the real problem isn't that you're lazy. It's more likely that you're just a bit confused about who you really are. We all tell ourselves these stories, don't we? Things like, oh, I'm just not a consistent person, or I'm just not disciplined. But here's the crucial thing you have to understand. That is not your unchangeable nature. It's just your history. It's a record of what you've done in the past, and your history does not have to be your destiny. This right here, this is the mental shift in action. Over on the left, you see those limiting beliefs from your past, but on the right, that's the powerful new identity you have to consciously build. And you start with sincere prayer, with dua, asking Allah to make you someone who follows through. Then you define your mission, and you just start acting like that person. Okay, so you're working on your identity. What's the next step? You have got to stop waiting around for motivation to just magically appear. It's an emotion. It comes and goes. Instead of relying on feelings, you need to build systems. You know, the logic here is actually super simple, but it is so powerful. Motivation, totally unreliable. But systems, they're repeatable, day in and day out, whether you feel like it or not. They're built to serve your long-term mission, not your short-term mood. And eventually, they make doing the right thing almost automatic. So what does one of these God-conscious systems actually look like? Well, it's built on these 3 pillars. Number 1, you anchor your entire day around your 5 daily prayers. These are the non-negotiable rocks in your schedule. 2, you use clear, defined time blocks for deep, focused work. And 3, you stack your other important habits, like reading the Quran or hitting the gym, right after your prayers. And all of this really comes from a powerful Islamic principle. When you start treating your time like it belongs to God, because, let's be real, it does, your entire perspective just shifts. You're not just managing a calendar anymore. You are stewarding a sacred trust, an amaanah, from your Creator. Of course, even with the most perfect system in the world, you're still going to face that old enemy that tries to tear it all down, procrastination. So, let's get tactical. How do we win this internal battle? The strategy is incredibly simple, but man, is it effective. The next time you feel that resistance, that mental fog telling you, oh, just do it later, force yourself to start the task for just 2 minutes. That's it. That tiny bit of forward momentum is almost always enough to break that state of paralysis. So what happens when you do fall off? Because, trust me, you will. We all do. This is where we have to completely redefine what consistency means. It is not about being perfect. It's about how quickly you get back up. Having one bad day doesn't wreck your mission. The real danger is letting that one bad day spiral into a bad week or a bad month. Now let's tie this all together and see how it connects to the bigger picture. All these systems, these rules, they aren't about being productive just for the sake of being productive. They are tools, and they're designed to help you live a life of real purpose. This is how you elevate the daily grind into something so much more meaningful. By building your day around prayer, by starting your work in the name of God, and by making your intention to please Him, you literally turn everything, your job, your studies, all your efforts into a profound act of worship. And this is really the core message, the main takeaway. Forget about chasing that fleeting feeling of motivation. What you really need, what we all need, is a mission, a clear, compelling purpose that pulls you forward, especially on those days when you just don't feel like showing up. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final, crucial question to really think about. When you look at your life, at your potential, and at your faith, what legacy are you going to choose to build with this precious, limited time that you've been given?